Alright, so this is a NOVEDUCATION podcast.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to NOVEDUCATION. As always, I am your host, Noved. Thank you for tuning in. It is Monday, June the 6th. God damn it, we already in June. I can't fucking believe that shit, but we're ready in June, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Get them summer bodies ready. Lord knows I'm not, but thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody had a safe and fun weekend. Mine was pretty dope. We have some fights to talk about, to go over. Excuse me. We had the NBA Finals last night. It is tied apiece at 1-1. We have some NFL OTA news, not too much. And then we're going to continue with our fantasy football implications by division. Today we will be doing the AFC East, ladies and gentlemen. So I did every other division. We still got to cover the AFC West, NFC West, and NFC East. So if you guys got any dynasty fucking players, dynasty pool in those divisions, here we go. Tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. Shout out to my boy Victor the Guru at Victor93Till. What's up, my boy? Go give him a shout out. Go give him a follow. He's the co-host and researcher here at NOVEDUCATION. That's my boy. Shout out to the Do It For Music crew, bro. Shout out to the Do It For Music crew. For the cap, you know what I'm saying? If you're an up-and-coming artist or you want to, get started on some shows, you're a producer, DJ, beat maker, rapper, singer, poet, whatever, you want to get on stage or you want to be a vendor for something, go hit up at I Found Owen. They gave me my first shows as a rapper, you know what I'm saying? They took me on tour. I went on tour with them, and it was dope, man. So shout out to the Do It For Music crew. Shout out to Noción en Directa. Go give them a follow. Do It For Music at Do It For Music. They will always hook you up, man, with some slots. So, but yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, there was a couple people who have been. A few people for the past few weeks have been asking me, how do I get the show going? How do I do the show, basically? For all you videographers and photographers, it's this, y'all know this ain't the real deal, but it's just a simple laptop camera. Basically, nothing special about it. Simple laptop camera. I'm recording through my Zoom PodTrack P4. It's a recorder, simple enough. It connects to the computer, and there's a little memory chip that I'm able to pull out and edit. Back here, I have a light so y'all can see my ugly ass mug. I know we're in a different little setup right now because I don't like to use the windows with the glare, but we're under construction a little bit, so I apologize for that. Apologize for the audio. So yeah, that's basically how I do the podcast. I recently started wanting to do the video because people were asking me or telling me like, yo, y'all, you should do the video. People like to see who's speaking. And whatever. I was never really one for the video. I don't really like to be on camera or anything like that, but I realized that people want to see the face, a face to blame for making all these takes and claims and all that shit. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If y'all don't like the video, let me know, and then I'll stop that shit, because I ain't stopping the audio. The podcast, we still rolling, you know what I'm saying? I started the podcast, the show, like 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, and like the first year, it was just, I didn't really have no future for it. It was no there was no setup. I just had a mic and a computer, and I would just, talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. It was movies, sports. I would have my homies on. I would have different artists on, because at that time, I was surrounded by a bunch of, artists. And then it grew just into to be a sports show, I guess, because, y'all, if y'all know me, I love sports, bro. I'll talk about that shit all day, every day, but it is whatever. So up until like the past year, I wanted it to be a little bit more consistent. So I've been started to do it like every week, and every week there's not necessarily a guest that I could have on, but there's always something going on in the sports world. So that's why it turned to that. But don't be afraid if you want to come on. We'll talk about anything. It's not just a sports show, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about anything. Recently, to my boy Victor the Guru, because I've been asking people, if they want to come on, be a guest, or if they want to help out in any type of way. He hit me up and he said, hey, that he wants to, he wanted to be, do some research for me, maybe even be a co-host, and I was up for it. So that's why you've been noticing in the past few months, that these episodes have been a little bit more outlined, more uniformed. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, all because of, thanks to him, because I can be up here and I'll ramble off about whatever. I'll talk y'all ear off, but now it's a little bit more suited, more uniformed, and I fucks with it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get started, if you want to get your own podcast started, I would say just go do it. But the biggest piece of information that I could give you is spend and invest wisely. There's a lot of YouTube channels that they tell you, oh, get this and this, and you'll start off. Yeah, get your start off, whatever. If you want to get started off like that, there's nothing too big. Yeah, go ahead, if you want, just to get your confidence up. But if you want to continue growing and continue doing it, and you love doing it, you like doing it, I would suggest get things that fit your setup, fit your own mold. Everybody's voice is different. Everybody's setup is different. For example, I was getting like expensive ass microphones, expensive ass equipment, just, because people were saying, oh, this is the best thing. Yeah, it was the best thing, but it wasn't necessarily the best thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I invest in a lot of music in my room over there. That's where I do all my audio, like editing, and that's where I do my music. If you're gonna do music, you're gonna have to invest a lot of money in music. You know what I'm saying? So that setup is over there in my room, a little bit more intimate. But this setup right here, it's simple enough, man. I use a condenser microphone. It's fit for my voice. I have I don't, whatever, not to fucking squeeze my own tit, but I got a very loud voice, So this mic picks it up good. Get things that fit your own setup and fit your own mold, because there's gonna be, like I said, you're gonna waste money, but learn how to spend your money wisely and invest your time wisely, because that's gonna be a big thing going forward. Like for me, there's people, they always help me out. Luckily, I have a good fucking family, a good team behind me to give me motivation. But don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of people in your life who give you that negative motivation, that negative bullshit, like just trying to keep you down, keep you at their level. You're going to have your own self-motivation. So get things that are easy enough for you. Let's say you just want to record, you have a special idea, you want to, make a little video or make a little audio segment, like it's a 10-minute topic. I would suggest just go and do it, because you're not going to get that time back. So that's a little spill I have. If you want to get on, you want to be a guest, you want to be, you want to help out around the show, let me know. And yeah, we can get it cracking, bro. So that's my little intro, I guess. That's a little spill that I got. But first and foremost, so we have what Victor the Guru, he put in Donda Sports. So if you didn't hear over the past, I believe, week, Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald had recently joined Donda Sports. And people were asking, like, oh, what do you think about this? Like, do you think it's going to be a failure for them? I don't think they realize that Donda Sports is not necessarily their contractual agent. It's not it's more of a marketing management. It's not necessarily someone that's going to handle the contracts of their, of their teams and the league. It's mainly, they're a separate market managing company that's going to help them out basically outside of their sport. Aaron Donald recently came on the I Am Athlete podcast, and he said that, yeah, it was the best suit for him. The idea was presented for him, and I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope for especially professional athletes to try and grow. You've seen Tom Brady and LeBron James just became a billionaire. They have way more things going on outside of the sport. Especially if I would like to see Donda Sports get into UFC fighters and boxers, because usually boxers and fighters, not too many of them have a lot going on outside of the sport. You know what I'm saying? So this is for something for athletes, you've seen it in the Rock Nation Sports. Like that was KD, I believe Robinson Cano, who else? And they're taking off outside of the sport. So I think it's good. I think that Kanye, he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to that type of shit with marketing. That Kanye knows exactly what he's doing with the marketing. So that is what it is. But that's my take on Donda Sports. What do you think about it? Do you think it's good for athletes? Do you think it's bad for athletes? Do you think that Kanye is over his head? I don't know. Let me know. I think it's a good idea. I think it's good. I think Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown know exactly what the fuck they're doing as far as, being part of that Donda Sports team. So Kanye West, I approve. Next on the show doc, we got the NBA Finals. Oh shit! All right, so last night we had a few like it was last Thursday. Last Thursday, it was game one, and of course everybody had the Warriors winning. I have the Warriors winning, even though I said, and I've been saying it, and I still believe that the Boston Celtics, they went through the tougher gauntlet to get there. You know what I'm saying? They went through the Brooklyn Nets team. Even though they've swept the Brooklyn Nets, it wasn't like it was an easy sweep. These motherfuckers, like it was a tough series, but that's a tough squad. KD, Kyrie, like just those two names alone are very fucking dangerous in the sport. Then you have to go through the defending champs and Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, they were missing Chris Middleton, but that team is still one of the better teams in the league. They stick around for a reason, and that's why they are where they're at. They go in there, beat them, go next, full game seven game series up against the Miami Heat, who are fucking tough, bro. A Jimmy Butler tough led team, and that was a feisty ass series. I think that that Boston Celtics are built for this series to go up against the Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised if they do take it, but so that first game they took it, they was hitting their shots, bro. They was hitting massive threes with Marcus Smart, but you've been seeing Al Horford, his three has been hitting all playoffs, bro. And it reminds me of the run that Brook Lopez had when the Milwaukee Bucks went to the NBA Finals and won. He was hitting those threes, dog. He had that nice stroke. If Al Horford can keep that up, if Marcus Smart can keep that up, I think that helps them out tremendously up against this fucking Warriors team, because the Warriors team is built, and we seen it last night. Last night, once you go into that Oracle Stadium, bro, it is fucking pumping, bro. They live and die for that shit, bro. You seen Steph Curry turn it up. When Steph Curry turns it up, even if he's having a bad game, if he turns it up for just a few minutes, if he comes with a back-to-back threes in just those few minutes, that changes the tide of that game, bro. And you see that stadium was popping for it. Klay Thompson is going through his struggles, but I think it's all right, man. I think he'll be fine. He'll be there in the clutch moments if they need him. I think that's where Klay Thompson is at in his career right now. He has that clutch gene in him. He may not necessarily be putting out the numbers that he was putting out or that people be expecting him to put out. I still think that he is a very, very pivotal player in that team. And he should not be mistaken for, what I'm saying? He's still a threat. He's still a threat. OPJ, he was nice. What I'm saying? That OPJ, he's the future of that squad, bro. And I hope they let him go, and he might become a Laker, but they ain't gonna let him go. I hope they mold him right and to be a good player. The Draymond Green situation, look, it's obvious, bro. It is obvious, and I'm not the one to be like a conspiracy theorist. That was back in my high school days. I'm not the type to be like, oh, the NBA wants it, but it definitely looks like the referees are catering towards the Warriors, because there's a few times where Draymond, like, he was doing some dirty shit, bro, like some dirty shit. And it's not a coincidence that Draymond has been in foul trouble this whole playoffs, bro. These whole NBA finals, he's been in foul trouble, and he gets in trouble, and he's been known for that. And just because he has that stigma on him, I'm not going to say, hey, this is what he does. But when you see it like the game last night, this dude was doing some dirty shit, bro. I'm not the biggest. I don't like Draymond. I don't like him as a player. I don't know him as a man, but I just don't like how he is on the court. Yes, I get it. He's that energy source for that team, but he's not necessarily doing things like anything too spectacular. You know what I'm saying? So for him to do these dirty moves, it just makes it seem like the refs are catering towards that Warriors team, because there was a lot of dirty shit that I saw, and I was like, what the fuck? They didn't call that. But then again, it's the NBA. They have to make their money off of this fucking finals, because, hey, this is a cracking finals right now. On the opposite side, you're seeing Jason Tatum not really going off per se, but I still think that he has that chance to be the best player in this series. He definitely needs to step it up. Jaylen Brown has been a beast this whole series. The whole playoffs, he's been a beast. Tatum has been a beast. Marcus Smart has been nice on defense. I think that he needs to start turning it up to a point to where, hey, have that down mentality, have that job's not finished mentality. He's having this whole stigma of the, I get it, Kobe Bryant was his fucking favorite player and he was trained by it. I get it, but let's do it, bro. Like, we can't just be talking about it now, you know what I'm saying? But even Kobe had off nights. Even Kobe, that game 7 against Boston, when they won the finals, he had an off night. But the point is, if you get it cracking in the moments you need to get it cracking, I do think that Jason Tatum does. But as far as, the whole series, you need to start looking at this series as if you're down, as if the job's not finished. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that, that sense of urgency. Like, hey, bro, this Warriors team can turn it up any fucking time, at any moment in time. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see a little bit more urgency from Jason Tatum. Steph is going to be Steph. Jaylen Brown is beasting. I'm excited, man. These NBA Finals is good. Who do you guys have winning these NBA Finals? I think it's going to go back and forth. Originally, I thought it was going to be a 6-game win by the Warriors. Going back to Boston now and the way that Boston has been playing, I think it might go 7, bro. I'm going to give Boston that credit, and I think it definitely might go 7 because it's one thing to say that Warriors are going to do it. It's another thing to stop Boston from getting hot as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give my respect to Boston too. Fuck Boston, but I'm going to give my respect to them because I think that they went through the tougher gauntlet. And yeah, man, what do you guys think? Who do you guys think is going to take the series? But on to the fight game, bro. On to the fight game. This past weekend, we had Devin the Dream Haney versus ferocious George Kambosos Jr. Devin Haney wins unanimously. He becomes the undefeated, undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Like, at 23 years old, bro, I think that is great. Boxing is in good hands right now, especially that division, that lightweight division, excuse me. As far as the fight, though, the fight was good. So I was watching it the night, obviously. And I put out a video. I said, it was a masterful performance by Devin Haney. I slept on it for a few days, and I woke up this morning. I rewatched it. I did watch some highlights. I watched every hit, and I still think it was a masterful performance. Devin Haney's jab was looking on fucking point. It was on point more than I've ever seen his jab. I thought that he put on a very beautiful display of boxing. Casual fans, I hate, and this is the shit that I hate, and I'm going to get up for it. Let me drink some water. Excuse me. This is what I hate about boxing. Don't get it confused with mixed martial arts, bro. This is the sweet science. This is not mixed martial arts where every fight is, could be a brawl. And I hate to be like, we're expecting a fight. Boxing fans are expecting a fight, expecting for the hands to be thrown, yada, yada, blah, blah. That's not that, bro. This is not that. I expected George Kambosos to get outboxed, but I called a 10th round TKO. I'll be the first to say, bro, I was wrong as fuck. I thought George Kambosos was going to get in. He's going to take some hits. I thought he was going to take his licks, but he kept the fight exactly where Devin Haney wanted him. He kept that range, but it's nothing to take away from Haney. Like, his fucking jab was on point right from the get-go. I was like, oof, that's a quick jab. But I thought that Kambosos would get through it, get around it, get some combinations to the body, maybe get some uppercuts in. But when you started seeing past that fifth round, Devin Haney was just letting it fly, bro. He was letting everything fly. So after that jab, after he got the timing down of his jab, he started changing up the timing, started getting George Kambosos off balance. And that was one of the big things in the fight, because every time Kambosos was trying to get that momentum, get a flurry, Haney would do something just a little bit different, a little bit off timing, just to get him off balance, off timing, just so he couldn't get that momentum coming in. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get a fighter like Kambosos going, that could be dangerous for you. He was in his fucking bag from the 6th round all the way to the 12th. Haney was in his fucking bag. There was nothing he wasn't throwing that wasn't working. As soon as he got past that, as soon as he got that jab down and the timing down and the reach down, he started throwing subtle straights to the body, subtle uppercuts, subtle hooks, and there it was just a beautiful display of boxing. Do I think Devin Haney is the best fighter ever? I still think there was holes in his game that Kambosos should have done it. But if you were listening to the commentators, which was Timothy Bradley and all them, I love T Brad, bro. I love Timothy Bradley, but get off the dick, bro. Get off the dick. They were fucking on Haney's dick. It was a good fight, but it wasn't the fight that I expected. I expected a lot more from Kambosos. Do I want the rematch? I know there's a rematch clause. I know that Kambosos camp that they had to have, put that rematch clause because they probably thought that this is the way that the fight was going to go, that if it went 12 rounds, the judges and the fucking overall, the boxing community would side with Devin Haney. So that's why I thought that they put the rematch clause in. I don't want to see this rematch. I thought that Haney, he leveled up at least 3 levels above Kambosos' fight. And Kambosos is one of the best fighters in the world, bro. He's a bad motherfucker. They're both undefeated, going for that undisputed lightweight belt, bro. All the belts, actually. I thought, I don't want to see the rematch. I would love to see Haney versus... It's hard to see Haney losing now. After what he did, it's hard to see him losing. But I would like to see Lomachenko, because Vasily Lomachenko is coming back, and that would be the fight that I would want to see. People think that I shit on Ryan Garcia. He does whatever he does. He said he was gonna fight Tank, Cruz for the past 3 fights, whatever it is, what it is. I think Garcia's overall size and speed, if he can bulk up and get the fights to get to Haney, I think that would be the best matchup. I don't see Davis beating Haney right now. I don't see Teofimo beating Haney right now. I don't see Cruz beating Haney right now. Lomachenko, maybe. But that's only because I'm a Lomachenko, big time Lomachenko fan. I thought it was a fluke when he lost to Lopez. But I think Garcia, his overall height and his range and his speed, I think that could be a potential problem for Haney. I think that would be the best matchup right there, because I don't see anybody beating Devin Haney right now. But so shout out to Devin Haney, bro. I think he deserves everything he has, man. Leading up to the fight, it was like a fucking movie. This dude went to Australia, basically was on his own. They couldn't let his dad in, and he was, people were saying it was his dad. He missed it. At the end of the day, you're a fighter, bro, and you're a man's man. But at 23 years old, brotherfucker, I still sometimes don't even know what the fuck I'm doing at 28 years old. I can only imagine at 23 years old with all that pressure, that undefeated stigma behind you, going up against what they would call the best boxer in the lightweight division, going to his backyard without your pops, who has been there for every fight, who has trained you for every fight. And in the 11th hour, quote unquote, as they said, his dad came through, and that you gotta think that gave him the motivation and just that extra energy, just to that confidence, that booster. You know what I'm saying? They don't, boxers say, oh, it is, it is a little bit. I think that helped a lot, tremendously a lot, because goddamn, when you have someone who believes in you that much in your corner, you just feel that much more better, bro. So shout out to Devin Haney. Shout out to the Kambosos camp too. I thought that, they had a game plan, but the game plan just got stuffed. It just seemed like it got stuffed. It was like, it just wasn't his night. I would like to see him fight, Cruz. I would like to see him fight Davis, and maybe that Teofimo rematch, but we'll see what happens by the end of the month. Excuse me, my bad. Nextly, we have the UFC 275 this Saturday. Like I said, I'm going to try to get it cracking. We might have to do the recording with at Satan Uncensored, and I believe I'm going to hit up my boy Victor the Guru, see if we can find a spot to record through it. But we have the UFC 275, Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochaska. My bad if I'm saying that wrong. And then the second fight we have, let's see, let me look it up. I'm sorry. I thought I came prepared. So we have, what is this? Oh, this is the fight night. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We have Talia Santos versus Valentina Shevchenko, and then we have Zengwei Lee versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Um, a little bit more about the that love triangle right there in that women's that women's flyweight. My bad, the women's strawweight. Zengwei Lee versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You obviously remember the fucking badass fucking fight that they had a year ago, 2 years ago, where Joanna came in looking beautiful as fuck, came out looking like Frankenstein's daughter, bro. I think this fight, I'm going to have to take Zengwei Lee in a unanimous decision. Wei Lee coming into that championship fight up against Rose Namajunas, the first fight, she was one of the baddest fucking bitches in that division. She was coming in with a fury. She was the best boxer. She was the hardest hitter. She was able to take punches. And then she got folded like an accordion up against Rose Namajunas. And I think that kind of fucked with her mental because she came back on the last fight and it wasn't as crisp. She didn't seem as ready. But neither Rose, I'm going to be real, Rose didn't as well. But Rose got the better of her. Zengwei Lee, she took some time off. I think she has all the skills to be that champion, to be that big champion too, a champion that can hold that belt for many years. I think she could be the best. Between her and Rose, she's probably the best puncher, but I think Rose overall might be the best fighter. But Zengwei Lee, I think she's motivated. She goes back to the drawing board, sees things that that she could fix. She already fought up against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and she knows, and we all know that Joanna, she's gonna come in with the fucking balls of fury, bro. And that was the last fight we seen her was that fight. She's going to come in fucking swinging. She's not scared. But, she's one of the baddest bitches. I just think that Joanna is going to come and try to take the fight to her. But I feel that Zengwei Lee is going to be a little bit more smarter, be a little bit more of a tactician, not get into a brawl. Make Joanna fight the fight that she wants to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take Zengwei Lee that fight in a unanimous decision. I'm going to go to decision. And then Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos. I think it's just another Shevchenko fight, man. We're seeing the most dominant fighter in one of the most dominant fighters in sports, period, bro. Valentina Shevchenko, I mean, there's nothing more you can say. I'm going to take her in a TKO, third round TKO. It is what it is. And then we're going to have to see what happens with the Peña and Nunez rematch. Maybe they can get it cracking again, Nunez and Shevchenko, or Peña Shevchenko. Because I don't know what else to do with Shevchenko. We don't know what else to say other than she's the baddest bitch ever. She's the baddest bitch ever. But in that main event, so here we go. In the main event, we have Glover Teixeira, the champion, versus Jiří Procházka, the up-and-comer. I'm not going to sway from it. I think this weekend, I always go into the fights and I always kind of switch it up. I tried to do that last weekend. I stuck with my guns. I stuck with the Cambosos pick. This weekend, I'm going with Jiří Procházka, and I'm going to go with a TKO in the third round. I think that Jiří is the fucking fighter. This is a big test for him. Glover Teixeira, yeah, he's old and whatever, but he's still a fucking beast. He's still one of the better fighters. He's a champion in that division, bro. He fucking choked out Polish Power, Jan Blachowicz, bro. I fuck up the names, but he choked him out, bro. No fucking joke. I think that Glover wants to go out on top still, which I think, a lot of people, they got the money on him. Victor the Guru, he has Glover Teixeira, so we're going to be talking about that. But I think that Jiří, he is just an up-and-comer, and his time is now. They had the fight between Rakic and Jan Blachowicz, and Rakic fucked up his knee. I thought that Rakic and Procházka would have been the best fight for that lightweight bout. But now we're going to see... Now we're going to see Procházka. I believe he's going to completely take it. And then he's going to fight the Polish Power, Jan Blachowicz. And I think he's going to take that and run that division. Like I said to my boy Victor the Guru, if we had fantasy sports in UFC, which we're putting together, if anybody wants to join in on this, we're putting a UFC Fantasy League. We're putting a UFC Fantasy League together. Jiří would be my first pick, bro, because he's going to straight just dominate that division, and it's going to be like that for a minute. So I got Jiří Procházka in a TKO. I got Valentina Shevchenko in a TKO, and I got Zengwei Lee in a unanimous decision. How do you guys see these fights? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the up and coming fights that are going to happen. Other news in the UFC. I know we recently just got one of a fucking banger, bro. We got Marlin Chito Vetta versus Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is one of the most underrated fighters in the fucking sport, bro. People love Dominic Cruz. People hate Dominic Cruz. I love him, bro. I think he's great. I love his story. I think the loss to Cody Garbrandt was, it was just a little blemish, but he lost, obviously. But I think what this man has gone through, his smartness in that octagon, he's a great commentator. I know there were some fights where he was a little suspect commentator, but I think he's a great commentator and he still wants to fight. I think Chito, he came out recently on the Food Truck Diaries with Brendan Schaub. And he said that he wants to fight Chito. He wants to fight Dominic Cruz because he is a legend. So when your opponent, someone in your own division calls that man a legend, he wants to fight that man simply because he's a legend. There's some pedigree behind that. I know that a lot of people wanted what's his name? Who the dude? I'm going brain dead. Piotr Jan. They wanted Chito Vetta versus Piotr Jan. I think this is still a good fight for Chito. I think this is a good fight for Cruz. You know what I'm saying? And it gives Piotr Jan, some time to think about. Maybe, he is human after all. He's not necessarily that robot, that little young Hulk that everyone thought. It gives him some time to, maybe see how things play out. Because I know you're gonna have the Aljamain Sterling versus God damn it, I'm going brain dead. But you know what I mean. So Chito Vetta versus Dominic Cruz. I think that's going to be a great fight. I don't know who's going to win right now. I don't have a winner right now. Obviously, it's way too fucking early. Everybody's still waiting on his UFC 275, and then 276 is going to be an absolute fucking banger, bro. So we're going to see how it goes on cracking. Who do you guys think is going to win for the UFC 275? And what are your thoughts about the Marlin Chito Vetta versus Dominic Cruz? I think that's going to be a beautiful fight, bro. A beautiful fight. But here we go, baby. On to the NFL news. Madden 23, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who know, I am a fucking big Madden fan. I've been playing Madden since, back in the fucking day, since I believe, I can't remember the first time I played Madden. I remember I was playing the NFL, the game when it was with 2K. I remember they had that 2K sport. And, Madden has been a big part of my life, bro, because for those of you guys who don't know, I don't really play too many video games. I never really did. Back in the day I did. I played, GoldenEye, Smash Brothers, every James Bond game, and I would just play Madden. Nothing but Madden all the fucking time. When I would go over to my homie's pad, they'll be playing Call of Duty. I would wait till they're done so I can get a game in Madden. Recently, I bought a PlayStation just because I moved far away from my boys, and so I could play with them. But all I play is fucking Madden. And when John Madden passed away, it was sad. It was, it was kind of like, oh fuck, like we getting old out here, motherfucker. So this Madden is gonna be in honor of the first Madden cover. I love it, bro. I think that Madden is one of the best games ever. I always say, and I put out some videos on YouTube. I get my best plays and whatever, and I put out some games. But I always say, people who say Madden sucks most likely suck at Madden, bro. And I believe that is true to the core. My biggest thing, if you're getting into Madden, if you want to get better, I would say, here's what I always say, my biggest piece of information would be learn every function. Learn how to use the functions of Madden, and you will get better. It will become more fun. It will become smoother. It will be more intense because you're going to have these little chess matches with better players, but it's going to be way more easier to play once you learn all the functions to the game. So that's my that's what I got to say about Madden 23. I'm excited for it. Let me know if you want to play against me. I play PS4. Don't got the PS5. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Ryan Fitzpatrick, bro, retiring after 17 years in the NFL. Fitzmagic, shout out to you, bro. Fitzmagic. Just recently, towards the end of his career, he became this godly type of guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy who just got it done. Who would take the risk, who would throw the ball downfield to the best player. I loved him. I had big hopes for him in Washington because I'm a Terry McLaurin dynasty manager. So I had big hopes for him, but that injury seemed too much, proved to be too much for him. And the man is walking out a legend. He's going to be a Hall of Famer simply off of just the name. Dude, if you don't know who Ryan Fitzpatrick is, he was a quarterback who's been on every single fucking team. Basically, every single team. Najee Harris, my boy, Najee. Najee Harris bulks up 15 pounds, and that's something that to be said about a running back when you're going to be the bow horse, the ball carrier, the main featured back, and just like that's Steelers football. Mike Tomlin loves his running backs to have all the work. You're going to have to bulk up a little bit because you're going to have everybody after your ass. And I think it's a good move for him. I still think, he's going to keep that agility, that speed. I think it's just for OTAs right now, just so he could bulk up in muscle. He'll probably slim down about, he was 230, then he went out to 245. So I think he'll go back to like maybe 235 when it come game time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be a lot of 15 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot of muscle to carry. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's muscle. So yeah, but that's exciting for it. If you're a Najee Harris manager, that's exciting. I am a Najee Harris manager. Travis Etienne in OTAs looking like himself, and he says he will love to have a Debo type of role. If you've been following me for my dynasty league, I have Travis Etienne in my dynasty. I'm still thinking about keeping him. Still, I'm thinking about it. I don't know, not too sure yet. This is good news. If you're a Jaguars fan, especially because this was your number one pick, this was your quarterback's favorite player. This is someone that the franchise actually wanted. I know Urban Meyer wanted him too, but this is someone that that had a bright future. Unfortunately, last season he got injured. He's bulking up. He looks good. He looks similar to how he did just before in OTAs last season. And there's talks that he's going to get like a similar type of Debo role. And that's good, man. I think that's good for the team. I think it's good for fantasy managers. And I think it's good for him to finally get the praise that he deserves. I do think he is a very special talent. Now it's just time for him to prove it on the field. So Travis Etienne, shout out to you, bro. We got more news right here. Excuse me. God damn. I have a frog stuck in my throat. We have Treylon Burks. He is progressing encouragingly for the Tennessee Titans. Whatever the hell that means. James Robinson, other Jaguar news. He's jogging on and off the field. As far as for him, I think he was one of the most underrated running backs of all time. He was great. Unfortunately, tore his Achilles at the end of the season. So we'll probably get to see him by the end of this season, maybe hopefully mid-season. As a ETN manager, I hope not, but as a football fan, I really, really hope so. And it's good to see that he's jogging and he's getting back into the swing of things. Dearness Johnson agrees to 1-year deal with the Browns. I wanted this dude to go somewhere else. I wanted him to go somewhere where they needed a running back. I wanted him to go to Atlanta. I wanted him to go to Houston Texans. I wanted him to go to Carolina just in case, CMC still, he's still a little bit injured. This dude, if you don't remember, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they both got injured, and he was the third man, and he was the next man up, and he played great, bro. He was one of those undrafted free agents that they picked up, and he played absolutely great. I wanted this man to get a full 3-year deal somewhere, just off of those few games. He looked great. On paper, he was putting up the numbers. In fantasy leagues, he was putting up the numbers. I had him in a few. He won me weeks. I think this man is a great running back. But to be the third man on that Browns offense, and they just got Deshaun Watson, we probably won't be seeing too much of him. But just the respect that I have for Dearness Johnson, respect to you, man. I'm glad you're getting paid, and I'm glad you're being able to get played on this team. I think he deserves way more playing time than he's going to get. Mac Jones is impressing with his leadership, and he slimmed down last week. That was the news. It's a little bit the same Mac Jones that we're going to get this season. I know this season it's going to be that run game with Mac Jones. And then, he's molded into that quarterback system as a pocket passer. So as far as leadership, I'm not surprised. As far as the slimming down, I think it's great. What else are you going to do? And other news inside that camp, inside the Patriots camp, that Matt Patricia, who was their offensive play caller a few seasons ago, he's the front runner to be their play caller this coming season, which why not, bro? Why not? It fits. It worked. They had the magic when it when they were winning with Tom Brady. Why not? He went to Detroit. He had the few seasons for head coach. Didn't work out. Fuck it. Why don't you come back home to daddy? Come back home to Daddy Belichick and be the play caller that you were, the amazing play caller that you were. Because I do think that he is one of the best play callers in the league. And, it's a simple enough offense. I think they still have talent. They got things to clear up. But I do think that Matt Patricia going back to the Patriots is the best for Mac Jones and that team. So it's just something beautiful in sports. Dalton Schultz skipping OTAs in with the Dallas Cowboys, whatever, man, it is what it is. Off the contract issue, I believe, he wants that money because he is going to be the main target and tight end right there. I think they get the deal done. It's just involuntary OTAs, something that players don't have to go, but it's always nice for them to show up, get them extra reps in because the NFL season is long. But Dalton Schultz, I think he's going to stay a Cowboy. I think they're going to get the deal done. There's nothing too special or spectacular right there. So check in on that, man. Any news? If you guys have anything to say about the news or you guys want to bring up something, let me know. Message me, give me in the comments, whatever it is, what it is. And we can move on to the fantasy implications by division. Let's see right here. Fantasy. I like to get all my fantasy, quick information from the God damn, I apologize for the audio if I'm like doing that. But from thehuddle.com, shout out to the Huddle. I think they're dope. They give quick and precise information for fantasy football, relevant information that you need, teams that that you love. I think that they're cool. So if you want to, go give them a shout out, go give them a follow, whatever, it's thehuddle.com. And that's where I get my fantasy information from for this show right now. First team, the Buffalo Bills. Notable key free agent additions. They got Jamison Crowder, who I think is a good pickup for the Bills, man. And then they picked up O.J. Howard, which is a good, nice backup for Dawson Knox. Key departures, they depart with Emmanuel Sanders, Matt Breida, and Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was nice for what it was, and, they went their separate ways. And Emmanuel Sanders, he had that great burst at the end of his, at the beginning of that season, and then kind of, feathered out towards the end. But I think that this is, it's nothing too big of an impact for him leaving because they still have Stephon Diggs. They just got Jamison Crowder, Gabe Davis, who is a up-and-coming fucking rising star, but I think they're going to be all right without them. Notable draft additions. They drafted James Cook, brother to Dalvin Cook, and they got wide receiver Khalil Shakur. I think that this is, fantasy winners is everybody. I think Dawson Knox is a fantasy winner. I think that Stephon Diggs is the fantasy winner. Gabe Davis is a fantasy winner. Jamison Crowder is a winner. There's no pretty losers on this team except for maybe Devin Singletary. But I still think that Singletary is going to get a lot of work in the run game. It's just that James Cook, that he's going to be more of the pass catcher is what they're saying. So everybody pretty much has their own piece in this high-powered offense. Everybody has this team to be winning the Super Bowl. They're the favorites to win a Super Bowl. They're the number one team in a lot of people's rankings. So I think everybody in this team, if you can get a piece of this Buffalo Bills offense for this year, I think for fantasy, it's going to be great, bro. There's nothing more than just a high-powered offense for fantasy. There's nothing better than that, bro. Nothing better than that. So no losers, just winners on this squad. Next, I would like to talk about the Miami Dolphins. Notable key free agents. We have Tyreek Hill. That's the big free agent. Raheem Mostert, which was a nice pickup. Chase Edmonds, which was a cool pickup. Cedric Wilson from the Cowboys. And Teddy Bridgewater back up to, he was the quarterback for Denver. And he's the backup for Tua. Notable departures. Devontae Parker to the New England Patriots and Jacoby Brissett from the Cleveland Browns. He went to the Cleveland Browns. And notable draft additions. They drafted a wide receiver, Eric Izukunama. I don't know. But winners, winners on this team, I believe, okay, so I don't want to say Tyreek Hill is a loser, but is a loser. I'm talking about fantasy-wise. But I think that his stock goes a little bit down because, you have Jalen Waddle there. You have, that running back team, that running back core that they're gonna run the ball, and you downgrade in quarterback. So I think the winner here, I believe, is Mike Gesicki. Hear me out, bro. I think Mike Gesicki is a talented young tight end. It's his third, fourth season, I believe. Usually for tight ends, they don't show out until they're about second, third, fourth season. Travis Kelce, every tight end, they don't show out until about their fourth season. I think everybody's going to be worried about that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the deep threats that Gesicki is going to have safe fantasy value. As far as the run game, I'm trying to stay away, but if you had to choose anybody, I would choose Chase Edmonds only because he has been known to get some that work, but that Mostert's there. It's just that Mostert, he gets injury, he's injury prone. This is the year for Tua. This is the year for Tua. If you're a believer in Tua, go all in. Go all in. If you're kind of questionable, get the fuck out. That's my advice to you. I think Tua does a little bit better. I don't think people are saying like, oh, it's his make or break. I think he does all right. I don't think he blows anybody's mind. I don't think he fucking, disappoints anybody. I think he plays all right. And I think this team gets there. And I think they make a run to a wild card spot. That's what I think. I think this team can make a run to a wild card spot because with that Teddy Bridgewater backup, I think Dolphins, they have a safe team right now that you could depend on in real life football. But as far as fantasy, Tyreek Hill gets a downgrade. Waddle gets a downgrade because he has to share now. The running back core is going to be split. Tua, if you believe in Tua, go all in on him. If you don't, get the fuck out. So I think the winner right here is Mike Gesicki. I think Gesicki's going to have a good season this season. And as far as in Dynasty, bro, next team I want to talk about is the New England Patriots. Notable key free agent additions was Devontae Parker and Ty Montgomery. Notable departures was Brandon Bolden, which is okay. Key draft additions, they have Tyquan Thornton, Pierre Strong Jr., and Kevin Harris. So you can see them that they're just loading up that run game. I think the safe play, the winner here, the biggest safe play is Damian Harris. I think Damian Harris is going to have a solid safe season. For Dynasty though, I would go all in on Ramondre. If you're a Ramondre owner, I would keep him, bro. I would hold on to him. If you're a Damian Harris manager, which I am, I'm going all in for Ramondre. I tried to make a trade a couple of days ago with my boy Jack McCabe. See you, bro. Zeked out. Didn't work. Didn't happen like I did. But I think that Damian Harris will have a great season. So as far as redraft, Damian Harris, big fucking winner. Dynasty, Ramondre Stevenson. If you like Devontae Parker, if you like that Kendrick Bourne, I think in redraft, I think they'll be all right. But there's pretty much no dynasty value here. So losers, there's no losers, but I think the winner here is Hunter Henry and Damian Harris. If you like Mac Jones, I think he's a great football, real life football, but for fantasy, I think you should stay away. Definitely stay away. But yeah, so let's go with the last team right here. The New York Football Jets. Notable key free agent additions, Tyler Conklin from the Minnesota Vikings and CJ Uzomah from the Bengals, both touchdown makers. Conklin was a touchdown maker. Uzomah was a touchdown maker for the Bengals, especially in that playoff run. Notable departures was Jamison Crowder. Notable key draft additions, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Jeremy Rucker. And then they got, of course, Sauce Gardner on the defensive side. But as far as for fantasy value, I think that the biggest winner here is Breece Hall. I think he comes into a situation to where this team is young. They're high flying. They got to come back. They're going to have to come back in games because they're still young defensively. So that passing work is going to be good enough for Breece Hall to have those dump offs, to have those garbage points. Cedric Wilson, he has all the talent in the world. I think he's good, but I'm still not going to trust a rookie wide receiver with a sophomore quarterback, who was struggling last season. So I think the winner here is definitely Breece Hall. No losers, I guess you want to say Denzel Mims, maybe. He's a loser here. He's the loser here, but even then, Denzel Mims wasn't as fantasy relevant as a lot of people would like him to be. But either way, though, I think that Breece Hall is going to be a nice play. If you have Michael Carter, a lot of people are shitting on Michael Carter. I think he's still going to have a good a good value for this team. It's just not going to be the high upside that everybody thought he could have. Because Breece Hall, he is a fucking monster. So, yeah, the Jets, I think the Jets are a very fun team. I think if you want to jump on that Jets bandwagon, you should do it right now before it's way too late. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the Jets right there. But who do I think is the best team in this division? Obviously, I think it's the Buffalo Bills. They've been there. They're ready for it. They're in that window of span for Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis. That defense is nice. I think they're just the best team in that division and probably the best team in the NFL. So let me know, what do you guys think about this division? Who do you think is the best team? Who do you think is the worst team? Who do you think has the most fantasy value? Who do you think has the less fantasy value? Who are you going after? I'm curious to know who you guys going after in this league. You know what I'm saying? In your dynasty leagues, in your redraft leagues. Let me know how it is. And I'd love to give you guys all the credit. I always respond to you guys. Always give you guys props on this show. And I appreciate you guys for listening. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This has been Nova Education. I'm your host, Novid, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.